most of the things we're afraid of is really just other people's opinions. And the worst thing you can do is teach yourself, I've got an idea, I'm afraid, I don't do. I've got an idea, I'm afraid, I don't do. That's a cycle that we've all built up inside ourselves. And it's the biggest killer to momentum and success. Where instead you want to say, I've got an idea, I'm a genius, I'm going to go do it.
Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best-selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. Welcome to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. Today, we got the amazing, epic Evan Carmichael all the way from Toronto. Let's give a big shout out to Believe Nation. Woo! Boom, baby. Welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, Evan.
Holy cow. That's some energy.
Yeah, man. I want you to introduce yourself and let the world know. For those that are under rocks, tell us who Evan Carmichael is, my friend, if you don't mind.
I don't know. What would you say?
Man, I tell you, when I first saw one of your first episodes, I listened to how many times you practice recording yourself live over and over.
Yeah.
And you're a gentleman that's persistent against all odds, being an introvert. You didn't give up and you didn't listen to what everybody else said. You listened to your mentor. And as many times as you didn't want to listen to what he said, you opened your heart and look at where you're at today. You're an amazing entrepreneur that has amazing success, over millions and millions of followers on YouTube. And man, you're just real. To me, I'd follow you because you're the real deal, man.
Appreciate it, man. I like the energy shift too. You went from like high energy crazy to like, I feel it. I feel the love and warmth. And listen, I'm honored to be here with you.
Man, well, you know what? Let's dive into it. So something that you said in your book, you have a new book come out that's called Built to Serve. And I really just want to talk about that because it really it captured a lot of things that the whole world is going through right now. And I think right now, Built to Serve is going to serve so many people because I think if you had a selfish heart, it really shifted your mindset to really say, hey, if you're going to succeed in these times in business as an entrepreneur, you really got to go from your heart right now because that's what Built to Serve is. I love the quote that you used from from Dr. Seuss, right? Who's Who. So tell us how you came up with the idea for Built to Serve in these times.
So the book, I started writing it last year when I was on tour. So I was doing a speaking tour last year, 90 days, 23 cities. And being an introvert, getting on stage, I love it, but it's also the thing that terrifies me the most. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to crush this. I'm going to go on the tour for 23 days, 23 cities. And basically every 4 days, get up and face my fear again and get up and face my fear again and get up every 4 days in a different city. And at that time, I was talking about believe and entrepreneurship and momentum and getting your business started. But people in every city just kept asking me, the number one question was, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my passion? What am I supposed to be doing? What kind of business should I be running? And I said, finding your purpose is really easy. You don't have to go and journal for 5 years or pay $10,000 for somebody to coach you or, meditate for half your life. And I walk people through a process, who I have. And I did that in one of the first cities. And then somebody else said, hey, can you pick me? Like, can I do it? And that became most of my session in every city I went to. And about a third of the way through, I said, this is crazy. Like I came to talk about something else, but this is the question of purpose, figuring out what that is, became the number one question in every city. So I thought, I'm just going to write the book to guide people how to do it. Because if you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. And people don't know how to serve. And they're afraid of the judgment around helping other people. And they don't know how to, what if they don't get it right? What if they're not perfect? And so I walk people through the Who I Have process and then just turned it into a book, and it's been awesome seeing the results so far.
Well, I love what you talked about in your book. So I'm going to kind of ask you the question. In your book, you talk about the power source. You ask, what is your power source? And I've never heard it said like that. And I love that. So behind Evan, right, going against all odds, because right now, our world, our country, here in the States especially, there's a lot of diversity going on. And we really got to tap into that power source. I loved how you described that in your book. And so I have two questions for you. What is Evan Carmichael's power source? And how would you tell somebody right now who doesn't feel they have that power, how can they find their power source?
So for me, it's believing in entrepreneurs. And I walk people through that process. That's combining the who and the why. So your who is your most important core value. What is your single most important core value? If you had to pick, Daniel, what's your most important core value?
Compassion.
Great. Already that gives you a lens for the rest of your life. You need to be around people who are compassionate. And people might, at first glance, not pick that for you. They see this over the top, super energetic guy, optimistic, happy, and that compassion is your most important core value is super interesting. So now you want to be working with clients who have compassion. You want to be on stages where you can talk about compassion. You want to be bringing on team members who value compassion. And listen, everybody values compassion, but not in the same way as you. Like you're extra compassion. And what that does is it gives you the strength. It gives you the power source. It's the rock that you stand on where you might be pulled in a lot of different directions. Everybody's got an agenda for what Daniel Gomez does with his life. They want to pull you here and pull you there and pull you here. You run it through the filter of compassion. And that helps you make smarter decisions. And that's going to be for life. Like when you're 95 years old, you're still going to care about compassion. You're not going to be less compassionate. If anything, you'll just be even more compassionate because you've gained more strength and confidence and practice of living that life as opposed to accidentally living that life. You've always been probably attracted to people who have compassion, and whether it's your parents or your teachers or mentors that have come into your life who don't just tell you what to do, but do it in a really compassionate way. And now if you lead with that in your marketing, you'll attract people who love that first. And so it just allows anybody, you, me, your audience, to be able to bring better people into your life because you're leading with values first. So that's step one. The step two of the power source is understanding that your purpose comes from your pain, that whatever you struggled the most with is the thing you want to help other people with. And that's for the rest of your life as well. So I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I felt worthless. I'm making $300 a month. I'm too embarrassed and ashamed to tell my friends that I wasn't having success. I just felt like I was wasting time and that I wasn't a valuable human being. And I want to help other entrepreneurs not feel that same way. So when you can mix what your most important core value is with your biggest pain that you went through in your life, not physical pain like you broke your arm or something, but emotional pain. When did you feel the most worthless? Recognize there's lots of other people who currently are who you used to be. And the fact that you made it out, like the fact that Daniel Gomez made it out from where he came from is impossible. Like you shouldn't be here doing what you're doing. Like 99% of the people don't make it out or more. So the fact that you're here doing what you're doing is impossible. And so, even you from 15 years ago, I can't do that. I'm going to be that guy. There's no way. And so reaching back and helping people in the community who are like 15-year-old version of you is the thing that, again, will fill you up for life. Like you'll be 95 years old, sitting in a rocking chair at some old age home, not able to walk anymore. But if somebody comes up and you can see that you can shift them, you'll still love it. And it's forever. And so I think it's a great gift. I think everybody's got that kind of talent inside them. Everybody has a purpose inside them. They just don't know how to find it. And so that was the goal of the book, to help unlock it.
What I loved about it is you made me think about my fourth grade teacher, Miss Barajas.
Miss Barajas.
Yeah, Miss Barajas. When you said that, I was just like, well, why Miss Barajas? So I thought about that and I was actually at the gym working out and I was just like, okay. And she made me feel like I belonged. And I think so many people want to belong. And when you talked about that in your book, it connected with my heart. Because when I was a little kid, I was overweight, I was picked on, and I was the youngest cousin of pretty much all the cousins, right? So I would say the ugly duckling, and everybody else was the beautiful swans out there. And, I would say 12, and my other cousin was 13 and 14 and 15. And then they were all slim, good looking. And I was the one that didn't have a girlfriend because I was a chubby kid. But Miss Barajas always made me feel like I belonged to something. And even though I was overweight, right, I was a chubby kid. I was fat. So when you said that, I thought about her because she would always take the time and just, hey, Daniel, you need help with anything? And just make me feel like I belong. And why do you think most people feel like they don't belong, like you talk about in your book, Evan?
Just too worried about other people's judgments, too worried about disappointing people, too worried about letting people down. It's why people don't create. It's why people don't express the life that they want. Like chances are the life that you want is not what your parents did and is not what your family is doing. Daniel chose a life that his mom and dad probably aren't doing what he's doing right now. And it takes a lot of courage and strength to then say, I want to live a different life. because we're so afraid of disappointing people. And this is the struggle that a lot of people go through, is that you want to serve, you want to help, you know how good it feels to help somebody, that if you came across some kid who was being bullied, who was overweight, who nobody made feel like they belonged, and a conversation with you can shift that kid and now make them feel like, oh, like maybe I could do it too because Daniel Gomez did it. That's what we're chasing. But at the same time, we're afraid of, well, if I put out a video talking about that, people are going to judge me. People are going to be negative. I'm going to get some hate or comment. And so that fear of the judgment and other people's opinions keep us from doing the thing that we want to do, which is why you need the power source. You need to know that I need to approach everything with compassion, that if I post a video and we get hate, I have compassion for that person. Like somebody coming and leaving a hate comment on your video must be in a really dark spot in their life, because you're just trying to spread love. For someone to come and leave a negative comment when you're trying to spread love, it's not even about your video. They don't like themselves. That's what you could go through because you understand compassion when other people don't get it. And then shift into service to know that this is about you serving people and helping them, not about you just trying to make yourself look good and look big. So people have their foot on their gas and the brake at the same time. They know they're capable of more, but they're too afraid to go off and do it. And you end up stuck, kind of spinning your wheels, feeling like there's more to life and being too afraid to reach out and grab it.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because I'd like to talk about just confidence on our show, because I think a lot of people lose their confidence, and without confidence, you can't win. So tell us a time when you felt like you didn't belong, you lost your confidence, and how did you do it to regain your confidence, and what did you learn about yourself?
So confidence comes from doing difficult things. The more you do difficult things, that's where self-love, self-confidence, self-respect comes from. And I get that in macro versions every now and then, like big moments. And I get that in micro versions all the time. I think if you're fully confident all the time, you actually hate your life, because it just means you're doing things that you're comfortable with. You're always inside your comfort zone. And then you're just photocopying the same day over and over again. You could do that super easy, but you then hate your life. So this morning, I have a membership group called Movement Makers where people join, and twice a month for 85 minutes, I'm in there coaching and training. So today we're talking about speaking. And all the time before I get on and do the session, I have a moment of doubt because I want it to be the best I've ever done. And so every time I step in front of the camera and film videos, I've done 6,000 videos or something crazy for my YouTube channels. Every day when it's recording day, I still have 5 to 10 minutes of procrastination before it, because my anxiety is coming from, I want this video to be the best that I've ever done. When I'm coming into Daniel Gomez's show, even though I've been doing shows all day, I want this to be important. I want my grandkids to watch this interview that I did with Daniel Gomez. It matters. And that's where the anxiety and nerves will come in. And then you default back to your power source. This is meant to serve. This is me trying to help people. So I've had it in big moments.
Yeah.
And that's easy to understand, but I think it's mostly in the daily. It's the daily courage to stand up and create and make yourself seen and try to help when you know that you're going to make mistakes. Some people won't like it. You're going to be judged. And then having the strength to say, I'm going to do it anyway.
I love what you said right now about being confident all the time. I had a client that we were doing a coaching session, and they kind of said, well, I'm confident, and there's no way. And I exactly agree with what you're saying. And I told him, you know what you have, right? He's like, what? I said, you have a false self-confidence. He goes, well, what do you mean? I'm just confident. I said, there's no way, because that means either A, you're not growing, or B, you're just insecure about something and you're just putting your ego to cover up that insecurity that you have. So I love what you said right now, because if you're not challenging yourself and getting out of that comfort zone, right? I call it commonalities. Commonalities keep us in that place where we're stuck, where we stop growing. And if you're in that place all the time, I love what you said there, that you got to be in a place where you're not certain, right? Because if you're not certain, you lose your confidence. And I know when I started my podcast, I was like, man, can I do this? Who's going to watch it? Or what's going to go on? And it's scary. But I think about, man, who went before me? And, if we can help one person, then we did it. Because I'll tell you, I lost my confidence there for a while. So thank you for saying that, because I think most people think that they got to put a facade that you have to be confident 100% of the time. And by you saying that, you're saying, no, you don't, because when you're growing, there's going to be a spot where you're not confident. So thank you for saying that comment.
Yeah, you put it in a much nicer term than when I say it, but I love it, right? Like, I'll say you hate your life, dude. Like, you hate your life. If you're confident all the time, you absolutely 100% hate your life. You're inside your comfort zone all the time, right? You said something also interesting that I want to touch on, where you said, starting a podcast is scary. I have 3 trigger words for myself and that I push high achievers on: scary, difficult, and hard. They're not acceptable reasons anymore. Daniel Gomez does scary, period. Right? And that's what I tell myself. Like if you challenge me to do something, or I'm thinking about starting some new company or project, and I say, well, that's really scary. You're like, oh man, now I have to do it because I said it. Evan Carmichael does scary, does difficult, does hard. It's not an acceptable reason anymore for not taking action. In fact, it's the opposite. You have to do, as long as it fits within your ethics and in morals, and just, don't jump off a building because it's scary. I mean, don't be stupid. Most of the things we're afraid of is really just other people's opinions. And the worst thing you can do is teach yourself, I've got an idea, I'm afraid, I don't do. I've got an idea, I'm afraid, I don't do. That's a cycle that we've all built up inside ourselves. And it's the biggest killer to momentum and success, where instead you want to say, I've got an idea, I'm a genius, I'm going to go do it.
I'm going to tie something in there from your book, exactly, because if you're so confident, which is a false self-confidence, there's 2 things that I got from your book that I really want to share is that A, you're not serving enough people, and B, you're not serving deep enough. So I think when you really challenge yourself to serve more people, you're going to lose your confidence because it's going to be beyond who you are, who Daniel Gomez is, who Evan Carmichael is. And if you're not serving deep enough, right, you got to go deep. And I think people just really, when you don't play big in life, you're missing out. And one thing that I really challenged myself, I was with Forbes Riley here. We're in Florida, and she really just challenged me. Hey, you got to start playing big, dude. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought I was. And she made me just say, you know what, Daniel, be honest with yourself. You're not playing big enough. And the moment I decided to play big enough, it's like kind of like I took off those dirty sunglasses that were keeping me from seeing what I was truly capable of just seeing and what I could become. So talk to those people right now that say, well, I'm doing good, right? But no, they're not. Explain what it means in your book where you says you're not serving enough people and you're not serving deep enough. Talk about that right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, if you're saying that you're doing well, I mean, awesome, great, pat on the back, but you're surrounding yourself with people with way lower standards than you. You're just capable of more, and you stop growing. And if you stop growing, that's death. And you know it, like deep down, you feel it. You're bored. As soon as you say I'm good, you're bored.
Yeah.
And the way through is to then think, how can I serve on a greater scale? How can I, especially for the entrepreneurs, we're thinking mass. Like Daniel and I want to serve the world. We want to help billions of people, not just, the 17 closest people to us. But how do you go off and do that? What's the next level up? Like, you don't want there to be an end. There is no end. This is a great quote. I don't know if it's in the book or not, but it says, beyond the mountain is more mountains, which I love. And that, like, the goal isn't to get to the top of the mountain. The goal is to keep climbing forever. When you stop learning, it sucks. When you stop growing, it sucks. It's the worst.
Yes. So
beyond the mountain is more mountains. It's loving the climb. I mean, for any high achiever, once you've hit a goal that you've been striving for, it's like, hey, I hit the goal, but then, okay, then you feel depressed. It's like, well, what's next?
Exactly.
It's the climb that's super exciting and intoxicating. And if it wasn't difficult, you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't relish it. Like, if I put you in a race against 3-year-olds, you'd win. Great. Who cares? Like, it's too easy. There's no difficulty. There's no challenge. There's no growth. There's no progress. So it's boring. You could run against 3-year-olds backwards all day long and still win. You'd hate your life doing it. So great. You're a big fish in a tiny little pond. And what's great that, the message that you got is it's very rare that we have people push us from a place of love in a direction forward. Lots of people will push us for their own agenda, and usually the place smaller than what we want to do. To have somebody that is telling you, I love you, you're amazing, and you suck right now, let's go. Like, what are we doing? Can you step up, please? Right? For what you're capable of? That's super rare. And so to find those people, chances are anybody even listening to the show, you're probably the most ambitious person that you know. You're the most ambitious person in your circle. You have these people with lower standards coming to you saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? Look at how much you've grown. And it's easy to get a big head and feel good about yourself because you're comparing yourself to people with tiny standards. Yeah. Now you're ready for more. And so where do you get that push? For me, I get it a lot from my own videos. No matter how big I think I'm thinking big. I got it. And then I watch a video of Elon Musk who's talking about having a backup plan for the earth. Like, man, I'm not doing anything. Like, not from a place of I suck, right? I think it's important that you don't kick yourself down to say, well, look what he's doing. I suck. Not from a kick yourself down, but a kick yourself forward to say, this is what's possible. Like like you said, I got to take off these sunglasses that are all foggy and move forward. But I think you need to get that kick, because without the kick, you just stay where you are. Just kick yourself forward instead of down.
So let me ask you this, because right now I really want to, I thank you for being real transparent and opening your heart to us. What's the most challenging thing you've been through in your life? Because I think right now our world is going through some challenging times. And how did you pull out of it?
Yeah, and I know we're starting to bump up against the clock, but I think for me, quitting on my first business partner and just feeling terrible. Every day I woke up and I went to work. It wasn't for lack of trying. Like, I'd wake up early, go to work, go to my partner's apartment, work from his dining room table, making $300 a month, and go home after dark, and like every day, and no friends, no relationships, just work. And nothing was working. Like, we weren't getting results. So when you're pouring your effort and your love into something and seeing absolutely no results, it takes its toll on you. And one day I said to my partner, I quit. Like, I need to do something bigger. This sucks. Like, I can't, nothing against the company or you. I need to move on and do something else to feel like I'm a valuable human again. And then I woke up the next day and I said, I can't quit yet because I'm going to regret it. If I quit right now, I still have a little bit more in the tank, but I can't do it the same way I've been doing it. Something has to change. And that's when I asked myself, who's done this before? I had a software company. So Bill Gates has done it. How did Bill Gates start Microsoft? And I looked at his story, modeled it, started getting deals. And what have I done for the past 20 years now is just teach people how to model success, right? Because that helped me. And so I wanted to help others as well. So, out of that deep, dark cave, that hole, that negativity ended up becoming my greatest strength. The thing that I've now been helping teach people and will until I'm dead.
Man, well, I just want to thank you for opening your heart, and thank you. I'm a big fan of you. You have over 2 million subscribers now on your YouTube channel. If somebody wants to get a hold of Evan Carmichael and get your book, where can they get this and find out more about who you are, Evan?
If you want the book, you can get it on Amazon, or if you want the signed copy, you can get it from my website, just off my name, Evan Carmichael. What's your favorite video? What video should they start with of my channel? What do you like the best, Daniel? There's a lot there.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm the confidence architect, right? So I think what really spoke to me when I was down, because my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, when I really started listening to you, when she had a double mastectomy, I really tuned into your 254 days of confidence. So it's all those 254 videos, right? And I know that's something that you gave to serve, but there was one that just really captured my heart. And it was just talking about how the competency comes in the consistency, right? Just be competent, just be consistent. And even though you're not great, sooner or later, you're going to become better. And then once you start seeing that progression and you celebrate those small wins, it's like you build your confidence. And your series of the 254 days just really, it helped me when my wife was, like I said, there was times when, like yourself, right? That journey, there's that journey of entrepreneurship when you leave your old friends and you're alone. And I was in that journey. So my wife was going through her journey. I didn't have any friends to really open up my heart because I felt like I had turned my back on my old group of friends. And then I hadn't yet met that new circle of influence, that tribe to say that I'm connected to now. So I would say that whole series of confidence, just really every day I was, okay, where's Evan's video at? Okay, where's Evan's video at? And boom, boom. It seemed like every day what I needed, either if it was about speaking or if it was just about believing in yourself and not giving up. Because I have a quote that I came up with that says this: you're not a true entrepreneur, Evan, until you spent the day in the restroom crying and you were 99.9% sure that you were going to give up and quit, but you didn't. And I'll never forget, I came home that day and just kind of had my tail between my legs, woke up the next day, and your series right there, 254 Days of Confidence. The morning that video was there, and it was that little boost that I needed. So I want to say thank you for that. So it wouldn't be a whole video, it'd be a whole series.
Cool. I love it. Thank you, dude. Thank you for your heart too. Thank you for the energy. It's fun story time, and appreciate you having me on your show.
No, man. Thank you. Hey guys, that's a wrap. I hope y'all took some notes. Amazing Evan Carmichael coming all the way from Toronto. Go to his YouTube channel. He has an amazing channel. You're going to be edified. You're going to be encouraged. We'll see you next week here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to DanielGomezInspires.com and get your copy today. That's DanielGomezInspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.